Most people think memory problems just happen because they're getting older, but a lot of the time it's simply because the brain isn't getting the daily habits it needs to function at full power. The brain is like a muscle. It needs fuel, stimulation, rest, and mindful attention. And when you give it those things consistently, memory improves. Not overnight, but steadily. And you start noticing it when you recall names faster, make decisions clearer, and no longer walk around the house wondering where you put your coffee mug. Daily movement is one of the best ways to support this. Even a brisk walk helps more blood reach your brain, which means more oxygen and more nutrition delivered directly into the neurons that store your memories. There's also a spike in beneficial brain chemicals that help with learning new skills. You don't need intense gym sessions. Small daily movement, repeated every day, can make a dramatic difference. And it also reduces stress, which is a quiet enemy to memory performance. Mindfulness also plays a bigger role than people realize. The brain can't store information well when it's juggling 1,000 distractions at once. Mindfulness teaches the brain to slow down, to absorb, to encode information intentionally. Even a few mindful breaths can reset mental focus. Every time you pause, breathe, and notice details in the present moment, you're training your brain to pay attention, and attention is step one in memory formation. If the brain never truly pays attention, it never truly stores. Sleep may be the single most underrated memory booster on the planet. People think memory is formed while they're awake studying or practicing something, but much of the heavy lifting actually happens while you sleep. The brain reorganizes new information, files it, strengthens connections, and integrates new knowledge with older data. Deep sleep and REM sleep are the engines behind this. If you sacrifice sleep, you sacrifice the final steps of memory consolidation, and no amount of caffeine replaces what the brain does during those hours. Brain games might look like silly puzzles, but they activate parts of the mind that don't get used as often in daily routines: pattern recognition, spatial memory, logic shifts, short-term recall. The more you challenge the brain with small mental puzzles, the more plastic it stays. Just like muscles get weak when they aren't used, neural pathways fade when they aren't challenged. Little games, even 10 minutes, can reinforce these pathways. Food is also direct fuel. Blueberries, salmon, walnuts, dark chocolate, leafy greens. These aren't just nutrition buzzwords. They contain antioxidants, omega-3 fats, vitamins, minerals, compounds that build and protect neurons. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Just swap one snack, or add a handful of berries to breakfast. These tiny changes build better brain chemistry that supports memory long-term. Memory can even improve by being social. Talking to people forces the brain to retrieve words, form ideas, react, recall events, share stories. Socializing is cognitive exercise disguised as fun. Good conversation is like a mental workout, and curiosity is the fuel behind all of this. Learning something new every day keeps the brain flexible. Whether it's a new hobby, new skill, or simply a new fact, novelty keeps synapses engaged. Small habits, stacked daily, lead to noticeable improvement. That's the real secret, not a miracle pill. Just consistent brain care. And your future self will be grateful you started now.